Hey everybody, welcome back to the Random Horror Show. I am your horror podcast hostess, Keisha Lacey, coming out of East Texas, straight up out of East Texas, or aka the Iron Pine Curtain. And tonight's episode of the Random Horror Show, we are going to be reviewing a book. Take a look, it's in a book, a reading rainbow. And reading is fundamental. It really is. It's fun, it's exciting, and you get lost, forgetting everything was going around you. Gas prices are high, you're having a food shortage, but guess what? Go read a book. It's like Calgon, take your drug, take me away. And of course, here at the Random Horror Show, where we commentate, just being random, silly, off the tangent, but we go back to the main point with horrors, science fiction, fantasy, cult classics, and the obscure in movies, television, and books. And I am excited as hell to be doing this book review. And this is actually the first book review for this podcast. And I'm going to be talking about Recursion by David J. Harrison. Y'all, if you're looking for suspense, it got you. Dark, definitely. Cosmic horror, ho, you better believe it, baby. Mystery, it's so many elements and genre wrapped into one of this book. It also has some famous and noticeable influences too from Lovecraft. Stephen King. And this author, I'm not that familiar with this author, Murakami. I probably, you know me, I butcher names. I'm the lady butcher. I butcher names with excellence and finesse. There you go. But Recursion is one of those novels that is a page turner, and this is actually his first novel. It is, and I'm completely impressed by his work. He is a very interesting person. I mean, this guy has literally have really did the doo-wop of the doo-wops of this book. I mean, what can I say? I'm gonna say a lot. I'm definitely gonna say a lot about this story. And the synopsis is our main characters. There I go again, Lady Butcher. Haruki and Jane. I'm not going to pronounce the last name because I will sound crazy when I say that. I'll probably sound like a lunatic to some viewers that are first listening into this podcast. Their marriage is just crumbling. It's down the tube. It's down the toilet. Haruki goes off to a very quaint cottage. His what do you call them? His agent tells him to go somewhere, just to get away, get some air. And he settles into the English countryside in this very small, quaint town. And he's dealing with a lot, but it's like he's here, but he's not there. As how Jane puts it, Jane, his wife, very prominent in her career. She is a musician. She's also a conductor for the London Symphony. Well, tensions arise whenever there's a co-worker of hers who she is a hater among haters. Lets her know that she looks like a fool, and that everybody is snickering and talking behind her back on her disintegrated marriage, and how she is this mean woman that chooses her career instead of her marriage and her husband. Well, I was like, when that conversation with that girl and everything, I was like, I'm gonna slap the hot water dog piss right there. You see how it invokes an emotion right there, because I have dealt with I have dealt with people like this at work. That's the reason why I'm self-employed and I have my business, because of things like this, which is not nobody's business. This woman's she's having it rough. Actually, both of them are having it really, really rough at this time. And so she talks to the agent. The agent tells her like where her husband is at. She goes and drives to the nice little quaint country town on the English countryside, and she's ready to talk. She's ready to salvage whatever she can from this marriage. And she sees something that's really surprising, something that I was just like, girl, I was like, I'm finna bust down these doors and everything. Like, what y'all doing? Not to give that many spoilers, but you get what I'm saying. So she runs to her car. Her tires are slashed, and so she's walking in the rain. Don't you just love it when shit hits the fan? There's always that thunderstorm, that really heavy just slacking rain that's just coming down in sheets. That's like quite setting the mood of her of her discovery of her husband. And she sees her husband passing by in this taxi, and he's looking back but doesn't recognize her. And she's like, whoa, what did I just see? What's really going on? She's walking in the rain trying to get to a telephone, and guess what? She sees her husband, but she just seen her husband like 2 or 3 minutes ago. So she's like, she's like, what's really hood in this hood? So come to find out, there is a lot of things that's what's going on. Haruki, he finds somewhat of a passion, his passion back, because he's an artist. He used to be very famous. His paintings used to hang up in museums and art galleries. He just lost that passion from his art. He just wanted to start very blank, like a blank canvas in his mind of where he's at this cottage in this small, quiet English countryside town. You like how I did that? And so he's finding odd things, what's going on. He's finding holes. He's like, oh, there's a hole in the ground, but he feels so comfortably numb in this hole, like it's home. He finds a lot of comfort until he gets out of the hole, and he's like, okay, what's going on with the sun? What's going on with this going on? And this is like where the cosmic horror, this is where the science fiction starts to really roll in. I mean, it's there, but it's completely I'm gonna say it like this: it's there, but you're not noticing it because you're too enthralled with the characters. But if you actually just kind of turn your head of what's really going on, you start to see a lot of it. That's like how Mr. Harrison sneaks that in to the reader. of not losing focus of what's really going on, and you're just like, oh snap, oh my gosh, you're like, really? That's how I was like, really? Oh my gosh. And to be quite honest, it is a page turner. And I was watching my grandmother overnight. I had some relatives that came out of town. One of them came out of state, and they're at the house, visiting. And I had my headphones on. I listen to ambient music. I really don't listen to music with a lot of lyrics, something that I grew out of because I like to use my imagination and listen to the music to make my own lyrics of really how I feel with the song. And I'm reading on my Kindle, and my whole reality melted around me, and I was in this book, like literally and physically, like just like an outer body experience of where you're connecting yourself to this story. You're connecting yourself with the characters. I mean, you're that engrossed in it to where you wouldn't even care if the house was on fire. That's like that's how deep you will get into this book. Now, this is like the best book I have read in a long time. Now, like I said, you have a Stephen King It influence. I loved it. It was so super scary to me at 13 years old. And the last Stephen King novel that I read was Cell. Cell was basically trash to me. I find that he poorly executed from, using a social thing of how people are extremely connected to their phones. I mean, their phones is like their lifeline to like a gruesome, bloodthirsty, like a horror, like a zombie and apocalypse type of thing. So when he was blending that, I felt like that was poorly executed. It became really, just really trashed. It was just a lack of substance in the book Cell. At that time, this is the rise of the whole zombie trend. The Walking Dead premiered in 2010. I was in the process of starting my divorce in 2010, October to be exact, October 31st, that's it, 2010. I was getting everything ready to go through a divorce, and The Walking Dead is still on in 2022. But when the rise of that, the whole zombie, just wave, like the craze was going on, and when I read Cell, that was in 2014 to 2015. I was done. I was done. I was like, I don't know who else is gonna put out a really good horror novel that I can really sink my teeth into until I found this. And I was like, I'm impressed. And yeah, I was really, really impressed. And you see how long it has been since I read anything from like a horror author. Yeah, good times right there, good times. But y'all go check it out. It's a great summer read. It plays on so much of your imaginations, and it just it's a really delicious meat and potatoes that plays on so many of your five senses that it's I don't know, it's kind of like I'm just gonna say it. It does take you to an orgasm in a way, like a literary like brain orgasm. That's all I gotta say, because I don't know how many times I'm like, oh my god, oh my god. I don't know how many times I said, oh my god, reading this. Oh my god, oh my god, what? Oh my god. It does. It really does. It is. It's literally like a brain orgasm. Like it's that good. Is really that good, especially if you're into a lot of the genres that I just said. You got your cosmic horror, you have your science fiction, you have your thriller, your mysteries, and your dark thrillers. It's very ambiguous. It is. It's an ambiguous book, but you could still pick up all of that in this book, and I'm just like, damn. That's how it was. Damn. But for real, I'm telling you, like, seriously, for real, go check it out. Go check out Recursion. Put it on your book list. Tell your friends. Tell your neighbors. Tell anybody. Shoot. Put it on your TikTok, your Snapchats, your Instas. For the older generation, your Facebook. You can find Recursion by David J. Harrison at Amazon UK and Amazon US. It is available to purchase on Kindle, Google Play Books, and is also available in paperback. So thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this book review, Recursion by David J. Harrison. And like I said, it's a 5-star. It's literally a 5-star. Don't just walk. You better run. You better get it. You better read it. And of course, you can tell me all about it or how you feel about it or whatever on Instagram at Texas Horror Babe, or you can find me on Facebook at The Random Horror Show, or better yet, you can find the author David J. Harrison on his Instagram and let him know, what you think about the book, because seriously, he appreciates every comment and praises, because this is literally he's I'm just gonna say it like this, he's up there with all the horror novelists, from Anne Rice to Stephen King, Dean R. Koontz, to name a few. You can tell he put a lot of thought, passion, heart into this, and it really shows. And thank you for giving us this delightful book. Definitely telling everybody, because I actually have been telling everybody about this book. But that's it for now. Thank you for listening to The Random Horror Show. I'm Keisha Lacey, and y'all have a good night.